Well, hello.
Hello. How we doing today?
Doing very well.
Yeah.
Still got that beat in my head.
Ba-da-dun-dun. I'm like, let's go. Let's do all this stuff.
Heck yeah.
Hey,
Heck
everybody. How's the heck yeah doing today? Great. Awesome. Love to hear that. All righty then. Oh,
hold on. Wait for it. Wait for it.
I mean,
turns out if you hit the space bar, you can get those playing again. Good times.
I don't mind. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Today we have a really cool activity. So we're going to be learning. So this is the Hour of Code in Fortnite Creative. And this particular exercise today is going to be on the concept of variables. And variables are really useful in programming because they store information for you. So one of the important pieces of information that you use in video games is the score. And the score goes up and the score goes down. So does like your health and your shields and all those things. And the value of your score or any of those things at any given time is a variable. And so there are things that influence and change that variable, and it gets stored. After it gets changed, it gets updated and stored. And you can use it to say, hey, like when they collect a coin, add a point to their score. And every time they collect a coin, they get one more thing added to their score. And the game is checking to see if the score is 100 for any of the players, then the game is over. And so that's constantly checking. It's checking for coins. Is the game over? Do you have coins? Is the game over? And that's what's happening in the background. And it's all because the wonderful miracle of variables. And so, you know, they're already there. You already know them. You already know what the score is. You know how to win, all that stuff. So you're using it all the time. You're already a programmer, and you just don't know it yet. So we are going to create.
Didn't realize it was that easy. Good
yeah,
Lord.
You're done. I mean, yeah, A+. No,
don't worry about the rest of the stream. Just bye.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks. Just hand in your assignment. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this into a fun activity. So you are going to basically build your own custom coin race game where you can have multiple players and they're all racing to collect like the first one to 100 coins wins. So we're going to place coins where you could earn your score. You can earn like extra big score. You could get a penalty. We can put some tricky ones in there that you could accidentally pick up that minus your score. And so you can strategize on how you build your game and be creative once you learn how to put variables to use for you. And Gatlin has put the student guide into the chat here. And what we are going to also do is, I don't know if you have the, slap that in there. You know the one.
I got all kinds of things ready. What do you need?
It's the Cleverlike Hour of Code Fortnite Creative.
Oh, the actual the place. It's actually in the description down below too. Okay, so we can get it there.
I just threw it in there. I got that up and handy because that's kind of, I use that as my launch point into all the 5 hours of code activities that we've created for Fortnite Creative. And you could choose any one of those. We're choosing the variable race. And I've got my Tyler. Oh, what's up, dude? Oh, man. Long time no see. We should catch up. That's so funny. Tyler and I did a bunch of projects together when he was in high school. So I'd love to catch up and see what he's up to these days. All right. So we have this hour of code project ready to go. So I'm going to call up that documentation as well. I've got it here. I will share my screen momentarily. And I don't know if you want to throw that on there, Gatlin. It should be good to go.
Yeah, I can make that happen. Boom.
Yeah.
Magic.
Wow, we are so good.
It's a button. It's a checkbox.
Shh! Don't ruin the mystery.
Oh, sorry.
Don't take that away from people. They want that. They want to believe. Okay, so cool. So we've got this. There's two main parts to this. There's the lesson plan. So I'm going to talk about the lesson plan first, and then we're going to talk about the teacher guide / student guide, which is the step-by-step guide for getting this done. So the teacher lesson plan is like, the work that the teachers need to do to make sure that this is hitting all the marks for them teaching the students meaningful information, and it provides all kind of information about variables, provides a little pseudo code for an example of how variables might be used. Be great to kind of customize your own experience there, but just kind of like my earlier demo, like when a coin is collected, add to the score, and then be checking to see if there's anyone that has figured out the score. So this is very much a logical flow of like how you might decide what's going on in a game scenario. If you were keeping track, like on a whiteboard or on a regular scoreboard, you would want to be asking yourself a lot of these questions to know how to manage the game, and this is how we would put it into code as well. I find like it's really helpful to be thinking in those terms instead of be thinking in computer terms. Be thinking in the terms like if you were to explain it to someone. There's a concept called rubber duck debugging, which is like you put a rubber duck on your desk, and when you have a problem, just explain it to the duck, because a lot of times just speaking your thoughts are what help you gain clarity, and that's I mean, it's also good if you have no friends.
Oh,
I'm just saying. Okay.
Program in the dark is what he's saying. That's what he's saying. Be in a vacuum. Get help. Get help. Get the duck in there. Right. Actually, funny enough, I've got this little guy up here. Actually, that I chat with. This little guy. This was given to me by a friend of mine. So I stare at him and I'm like, "What am I doing wrong?" And he just stares back at me with that blank face and says, "I don't know. I'm a doll."
I'm a doll. I can't help you, but I'm here to listen. And sometimes that's all we need. Yeah. So we have the rubric, the standards mapping, the research, the background, all the things you're going to learn in the activities. So this is a great lesson plan for teachers. Make sure you access that if you need a lesson plan in your life. So we'll get rid of that one, and I will go to this here, and I'm going to pull over I think I have the teacher guide open. I usually go to the teacher guide when I'm showing these, because the teacher guide is the same as the student guide, except it has some extra little morsels in there that are helpful call outs to the teacher, things to kind of pay attention to at certain points of the activity. So it's nice, step by step, going to walk us right through. So like mark the time. We're getting ready to get started right now.
Do it. Here we go.
Okay, so I am going to start the activity by going into Fortnite Creative. If you do not know how to get into the Fortnite Creative Hub, you will have to really figure that out. Should I go back?
Let's do it. Let's do this.
Okay, all right. I'll take you back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit escape and go return to lobby. In my case, because I kind of am in the hub here with Gatlin ready. We're ready to go. But you might end up in the lobby here when you first boot up the game. So you might get some sales pitches and updates on all the cool things going on in Fortnite Creative. You can get through those, and you will end up here in this lobby screen. And over here on the right-hand side, you have the ready button and also the game mode that you're readying up for. So there's all the possibilities there. If you click on that change button right above play, brings you to all the possibilities. You could discover content created by the community and by Epic. And you could also get into your library of content as well as get into creative mode. If anyone gives you an island code, the actual code numbers, you can click on island code and type those in here to get straight to a manually entered island code. So I like to go on this one to get it to creative. I like to click on the create tab up here and then click the create button. And now my game mode is creative and I press ready. You can see Gatlin is already readied up like a good squad mate. And
it's the second most common question people get in Fortnite.
Yeah, you ready up, dude? Come on, let's go. You gotta stick together. So if you're partying up with anybody, you'll have to ready up together to get into the game mode. Cool. And then you're in this awesome, inspiring, community-created hub. Look at the cool lighting effects, huh? They definitely did some. I'd like to see this at night. Lasers. Too. Yeah, you see these like God rays here.
Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah, it's these light shafts. Looks really cool. Anyway,
yeah, it's way awesome.
Yeah. So this is created by a community member, and they get to say who they are. T-Kiwi. And yeah, nice job. And so you can, first of all, set your creative sights on creating a hub if you want to be featured and be an artist and be an environment artist in video games and things like that. This could be an area where you focus your Fortnite creative energy. Like I would like to be a featured hub creator. So set goals. What we're going to do is we're going to head over to, you can see the rifts here. I have Gatlin in my party, so his rift is here for our use, as well as mine, which is shown up in a, this is a golden color. So this is also brighter, and it's off to the right when we first spawn in. So we go into here, and I'm going to press, you see this little keypad here? Instead of running right into the rift, I stop short of it. I go to this keypad, this console, and I press E to use it. And so you could see up on my screen here, you could see next to use console in that little blue pop-up box, it has a little box with a letter E in it. And that's just showing in all of Fortnite Creative the key mapping to that function. So if I press E, I go in to my game creation menu. And from there, I've got 50 islands, 43 out of 50 currently used, and you can basically create free islands, right? So what we're going to do here is we're going to click on Create New, and I want you to use, for this one, I think a really good one that I would like everybody to use for the first go-round would be this Temperate Island. It's really nice. It's got a good hill on it and good terrain, and then a flat area at the bottom. So it'll work out really nicely for our race. And once you build it and are comfortable, you could branch out to any of the other islands if you want to. But I highly recommend using the temperate one first. And you could say confirm, give it a name. And when you confirm that, it'll basically create the island here, which you can set your portal to. And now that's our portal into one of our islands, and we're defining it as the variables coin race. So let's hop in. Okay, so we are heading into the island, and I think we're going to, I'm going to go switch into flying mode by tapping double space. I think what we're going to do is start up on the top of this hill, this mountain, and we'll start working up here and we'll work our way down. Remember, this is a coin race. We're going to place lots of coins. We can build a village down there, and basically we'll spawn all the players in the sky and just have them kind of free for all, figure out where they want to drop and go pick up, whatever vehicles and things like that. So we're going to kind of do some game design in here as well. So first thing in that, now that we kind of understand the concept, I want to go get a coin so that we can collect the coin and modify our score using that device. So what I'm going to do is go to my inventory. For you, the inventory might show as tab. Over on the left-hand side of the screen, I have the letter V next to my inventory because it's been remapped. You could remap any of your actions to different keys or even mouse buttons. and commands like that. So what we can do is press V, brings up my inventory. I go to the Creative tab up top, and then we go to Devices. So the Consumables gallery is a device because it actually can trigger different kind of functionality in programming. So these are devices instead of consumables, even though it's called Consumables Gallery, and there is a Consumables tab. Don't be confused. It's a device. It looks like an, well, let's see. Actually, we have the collectibles gallery. Consumables is for a different thing. So we'll use consumables later. This is the collectibles gallery is what we're looking for. And we place now button instead of equipping, because it just pops it right out in the open. And you could see how you see how I could place these down in through the ground. That's kind of like, that's a nice thing when you want to, like if you were placing a tree or a boulder or something like that, and you wanted it to be in the ground. That's not really great if we were to place everything in the ground right now. So one of the things we can do, if you look off to the left-hand side, we have our menu of different options for our phone. So what I'm going to do is kind of cancel that for right now by hitting right-click to exit. Okay. And so I have my phone in my hand. And the way you get your phone is, you could see here, I've got my phone icon down in the bottom left. It's a little blue box. And you could see I have a picture of a mouse with the scroll wheel kind of highlighted. My scroll wheel button is actually my toggle for my phone. Yours might be the like the little back tick, or it shares the caret, or the tilde key, which is usually right below escape key on most American US keyboards. And again, you could remap to something else. Like I remap mine to my mouse middle button. So we have our phone. And what I want to do is click on the options for the phone once we have it equipped. And I click B to do that. And look at all this stuff here. So we have collision. And what we could do is change the collision here. Collision with everything, with terrain, nothing. So collision with everything is like if you try to place another object and one's already there, they won't overlap each other. But if you have just terrain, then if you're placing two objects, as long as they're kind of above the ground, they can kind of bump into each other. And I think for our purposes, that's probably better at this point. So let's just select that and leave it. And then I'm going to go back into my collectibles gallery, select that, see place now. And now when I look down, you see it doesn't put them through the ground. I can look down and they just get closer to me, but they don't go through the ground. So it's kind of a helpful setting. And I left click to place it. And now I've got all these collectibles here to choose from. I have some coins. So let's go ahead and pick this coin here. I'll pick it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a copy of it to work with and just kind of pull it off to the side out of all of these current ones. So I use my phone, look at it, and then I click left click to copy it. And then I can move somewhere. And remember, my collision is still terrain, so I can't lose it. And what I'll do is I'll over here left click again to paste a copy of it. Now notice I still have it basically in my selection, so I could paste multiple versions of it. But what I'm going to do is first customize one of them, and once I make sure that that's set, then I copy that, because you don't want to have to like place 500 coins and then modify the selection, the settings on all 500 coins. So make a master coin and then copy that master coin. Okay. So go up to this one. I don't want to walk through it. I just want to walk up to it and then press E to customize it. And then you have, like, just to make sure all of your settings are revealed, this button up top with the 4 lines that shows all possible settings for any device. So what we're going to do is the texture is the gold coin. The score that it gives you is 1. I might make this one like, this is kind of like the big coin, so I think I'm going to make this like 10, and we'll make this like really special. And in the documentation, we're setting them to 1, and 5 and things like that. You can follow as it is exactly on the documentation, or you could follow along, or you can kind of ad lib and do your own thing. So we basically need the score to be set and what happens when it's collected. So this one's important. So consume if collected by self. So basically, like if we're in a race and I collect the coin, you can't collect that coin anymore because I already got it. So the way the game defaults is like everyone sees all of the coins and I only see my coins disappearing. Like the other players would still see all of the coins. So they'd have the entire field as their option. I'd like, if I consumed a coin, I'd like you to not be able to get to it. So what we're going to do is switch this to anyone. So the coin will go away if any player picks it up. Okay. It's a nice little setting there. And you could toggle the effects and things like that if you wanted to. And I'm going to say, okay. And so now this is my 10-point coin. And so I can copy that 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So let's just kind of have that there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk you through the settings. So we'll kind of bookmark right now where we're at. And I want to walk through all of the settings inside the guide so you can see what they all are. Because once you get the game set up with all the rules and the scoring, then we're going to be good to go for building out our game. So what we're going to do is make sure that we have this pulled up. And okay, so we've got our coin, we've placed it, we've customized the score, and if it's consumed by anyone, I did turn the audio off in my settings. You can do that as well. Now, this is the part where we're going to be changing all of the game settings. I'm going to show you how to walk through these, the way this has been designed. So you could see here, one of the things, the visual cues you could look for on these little screenshots. First of all, there's a title above the table that says game in this case. And you could also peek here and see that this light blue color is on the leftmost selection of this submenu. And so you can see it's on the leftmost, it's on the leftmost. Now it's on the second one. Now it's on the second one, second one, second one, third one on the UI. Okay, so you could see when we switch tabs, and each of these screenshots is like one screen page. So we'll make the settings on this one page, and then we'll scroll down until we see the next settings. That's how we're going to go through all of these. So if I can do that.
What page are you on there, Cleverlike?
Page 8.
Got it.
Okay. So I'm going to see if I can kind of keep that up. Yeah, that would be, I don't know. Are you on that page, and can we screen share together? Would that work?
Ooh, let's find out.
I'll do some high tech.
And I'll zoom in on it a bit, and then let's see if we can bring us both up here. Technology, don't fail us now.
Seriously, we are pushing the envelope.
Oh, looks like I take over.
Okay, well that's okay. So let's do that though. That'll actually be more helpful than me switching back and forth. So if you can go to the first screen there, yep, right there with the free for all. And then I'm going to go. So now we could see in the game settings, we're looking for teams free for all. Okay, so switch over to my screen. And then I go into my island. So I went into the inventory, and then you go to my island tab up at the top, and then we're at the games one. And you can see here we have teams free for all. Okay, cool. So I'm going to leave it there. Gatlin, switch back to yours real quick. And then we have time limit, 2 minutes, win condition, most score wins, and score to end is 100. Okay. back to mine. And so we have the time limit. Now I've made these changes already, so just so you know, like it'll be defaulted to 5 minutes normally. And then the win condition, you can keep scrolling through until you get to most score wins. And then the score to end is 100. And you can customize that to all kinds of things. So you'll be able to customize that. So that's how we're going to know the game's over. Gatlin, back to yours. What's the next settings?
So we were here.
Keep going a little higher.
A little up.
Yep. Okay, good. So yeah, now that's what we just finished. So yeah, so the next one is where you spawn. Yeah. Spawn location is sky and vehicle trick multiplier score. Okay, switch back to mine. Okay, spawn location here. Normally it would be spawn pads. We're going to make it the sky. Like we said, we designed the game so that the players can kind of choose where they want to land. And then the vehicle trick score multiplier is set to 1 by default. So if we give the players vehicles and they go do some cool trick off of the cliff and land it, they'll get 2,000 points and the game will be over immediately as soon as they do even a basic trick. So we want to make sure that the vehicle trick scores are 0. Like you don't get any style points on the vehicles. That's why that's set to 0. That was kind of fun when I learned that one. Okay, yeah. So go on to the next. Okay, so now I'm in the settings tab, and we're going to go through the first page of defaults, second page of defaults, and then on the third page, pickaxe damage is off. So let's switch back to mine. So I go back, now I go to the settings tab, and I could scroll through 1 page, 2 page, and so you could see pickaxe damage. This basically turns PvP, so people can't fight each other and get distracted. If you want to make it so players can attack each other, then you could leave that on if you so choose. You can also start with pickaxe. This is a nice one too. Like you could just turn that off so the player doesn't have any ability to destroy anything with a pickaxe. So maybe I'll leave that as no. Okay, Gatlin, switch back to yours. I kind of like that starting with pickaxe to be no for a lot of these educational games. Okay, and so now we have allow manual respawning to no. So we don't want the player to be able to to be in a bad spot and then just force themselves to respawn so they can go back to a better spot. So once they pick their spot, they kind of have to live with that spot. So allow. This is a little bit of a scroll, lots of settings here.
I don't know if you guys knew this, but if you right mouse click and drag, you can actually grab that whole page and just push it up and down.
Ooh, and it's got the Wheel of Fortune. That's fun. So this allow manual respawning is actually all the way at the bottom. So if you go all the way down, it's at the top of that last page. And so we will not allow manual respawning. So we are basically building our game rules here. And let's go back to Gatlin's document. And we're in the UI tab, which is the next one over. And we are going to HUD info type score, scoreboard, the win condition, and the tiebreaker is score and time. So let's go into that. So the HUD info type has all different types of things that'll show up, like what is it going to report as the thing it was tracking. So in our case, it's tracking the score. And the win condition is the score, and the tiebreaker is the time. So let's say if if there's a possibility that that there was 2 people both got got the higher score, if there was a time difference between when they got collected, that would show up. I also like it because it just will report your time, even if there is always definitely one winner and there's really no necessity for a tiebreaker. It'll at least show your score that it took you to complete that round. So the tiebreaker, even if there's not a chance of a tie, is helpful because it adds that display. All right, Catlin, let's go back to yours. Next page is defaults. Okay. And then that's it.
Bam.
Hey, good for us. So now that we did that, we took a coin, we changed the score, and then we made copies of it after we changed the score. And now we just set the game up so that when somebody reaches 100 points, the game is over. Let's test it out. We'll switch back to my screen. And in the My Island tab is where you start your game. So I'm going to click on Start Game now. We'll be in the sky. And we'll have to think quick to get over there. We could use our... Oh, there's a floating object. Okay.
Well, one of us made it.
Okay, so I can hit tab to bring up the scoreboard HUD, and you can see it's got me and Gatlin in there. And if I go and collect a coin, my score is now 10. But the variable has been updated, so it's like what it does is it takes score and it adds score, the current score value, to the coin value, and then replaces score with that value. So score equals score plus coin value. That's what's going on in the code. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. These are all worth 1 over here. 91, 92, 93, 94, 95. 96, 97, 98, 99. Oh,
I lost.
Killed it. All right. So the score was 100. The time was 1 minute and 8 seconds. Cool. We have the foundation of our game already in place. Remnant orb.
Got a floater. Not me. I don't have permissions.
You don't have permissions.
First most common thing you hear.
Yeah, like if some people can't be trusted, you could keep their permissions to play only, but you can also change them to edit and copy, which gives them permissions to make changes to your world. So make sure you're only giving those permissions to people you trust and have created some form of agreement with.
Feeling attacked.
I mean, we just have to kind of, make sure we're in agreement.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. So what we're going to do now is that we have those. I'm going to show you how to do a Right, we have gone through all of these great settings here. And so we've tested to make sure it works. And so we're good to go. We could start placing your multiple copies, which we've kind of already done. I kind of snuck that in a little early. Because you can handle it. So the next thing I want to do is show you how to subtract from the score. So now we know like how to take any of these collectible objects, and we know how to change what they can add to your score. So we could kind of pick the ones that add a little bit or add a lot. And now let's find some of them that we want to use to trigger like a subtraction from your score. And so what we're going to do is we're going to we're going to use a score manager to do that, and I'll show you why. So let's switch back over. What we're going to do in this exercise now, talking about subtracting from the score. So I'm going to, first of all, go over here, and you can see, I mean, I hate to incriminate bacon by using that to subtract anything from your score, but bacon is an option. I think this green vial of gas here is a good one to pick as the subtractor, and you could choose anything. It's your creation. So there it is right there, and I'm going to go get the score manager device. So I go into creative, and I'm going to, let's see if score is a setting. No. So if I type in score, you can see I have a score manager device. And I'm going to select place now on this one just to bring it in, since I don't need multiple copies at this point. I'll place it near here. We'll make it invisible in the game so that you don't have to worry about seeing it. But this is our pair here. So what we're going to do, since if I go into this vial, if I try to say score like -10, and it just loops me back to the positives. So you can make a score maximum 1,000, or you can make it 0, or anything in between. And so what we're going to do with this one is we're going to make the score 0, but we're going to have it trigger a signal. So it's going to be, if you did our the obstacle course, event driven programming, you're going to know, like, we can make this vial trigger an event in the game that other code listens to and runs when that happens. So when this vial gets picked up, we want different code to run that subtracts from things. And the way we do that is we trigger a signal on a channel in this case. So we have our score is set to 0, but we are, and what's that one about collecting, right? Consume if collected by. Remember, we have that as anyone. If you want to, you could leave these so that everybody has a chance for the minus, if you want to be extra mean. And that sounds like it could be a good idea. Of course, they'll be sitting out in the open, but hey, could help make it more interesting. So this is the trick. So when this is collected, I want to transmit on a channel. So in this case, I'm going to use channel 1. Just make sure there's hundreds of channels to choose. Whatever scenario you set up, just pick a channel that's not currently in use by anything already. And then I'll say, okay. So now when I collect this, it's not going to change my score. It's going to send a signal on channel 1. Now the score manager is designed to listen for signals and modify the score variable in some way, positive or negative. So let's go into the settings for the score manager. And in this case, I can do a minus, which is kind of interesting, like that you can do a minus. So I can add a minus number, or I could subtract a positive number, which is kind of interesting. The way we have it in the documentation is to make it 10 and to change it to subtract. But I'm pretty sure if you added a minus, it would do the same exact thing. But we have score value of 10. We're subtracting. And is this device visible in the game? Like, do we want to actually see the device hanging out there? I'm going to say no on that, because it just serves a purpose in the background that people won't really know what the context is. And the next thing is, how are we going to activate it? So we're going to activate it on channel when receiving a signal from channel 1. So here's the deal. I collect the vial, and basically I'm the one triggering the signal on channel 1. So the score manager says, you are the one. I'm changing your score to -10 because you are the one that triggered it. So it kind of is owned by the person that triggered the action. So just know that, the initiator of the action is the one that gets the reaction that's caused through the event. So anyway, good context there. This is kind of funny because it shows +10, and we clearly have it as subtract. But I'm gonna play the game once, and when we come back, it'll probably show properly. So let's kind of ignore that for the moment. And Gatlin, are you ready for this?
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
I mean, did you see it change to -10 there? Yeah,
I did. It was beautiful.
Oh, now it's a battle. Woo, he's coming in hot. So I have currently 50. You have 10. I'll run into this. So I currently have 50. And now I have 40. So the subtract worked. We have now 10 less points than we had before. And you collected it as well. So you should have 0. Yep. And you could see what's really cool is over on the right-hand side of our screen, we don't have to switch into tab now. We could see that we have who's in first and who's in second. We have our little leaderboard, and it's showing I've got 40 out of 100 possible. And that updates as we're playing. So we've got a nice little HUD display of the active score of the game. Perfect. Look at him go. Look at him go. Look at him go. Look at him go. All right. You're in the lead. You've got 62. But we didn't place enough. There's no way anybody can win at this point if we have a battle going on and we split them up. So we want to make sure now we design the game. So this is where it gets really fun. So what we're going to do is just kind of end the game. Remember, we set a 2-minute clock anyway, so it would end itself. Oh, burn. That burns. That burns. The defeat. That's okay, though. Failure is just an opportunity to learn some new things. Like
first attempt in learning.
Yep, fail. There's our -10. Everything worked. We're good to go. So now I want to just switch over to this document so we can kind of follow along. So what's cool is we have this green vial that subtracts 10. And we do have the this prefabs kind of added there. And then, increasing the player sprint speed. Yes. Play testing. Okay. So just seeing kind of like the order of activities here. So what we can do is adding buildings from prefabs. We can go through and copy the coins. If you want to, I would say what we do is like, let's build our terrain first. You could start building out all the coins, but it would be better to have like all of your structures built and then put all your coins out so you know where everything is. So cool, Regina. Can't wait to try this with your students. Awesome. Thanks for joining. Yeah, this is a fun activity, and it's like so intuitive. That's why I love the Hour of Code activities in Fortnite Creative, because it just makes sense. Of course, like I know, like stop explaining. I already know. And I think it helps students realize that they actually have really, gained this knowledge through their gameplay, and know what to do, and we show them kind of how to access things that they may have not have accessed before, and it's really enlightening. So yeah, that's awesome. So what we're going to do is do a quick little preview of prefabs and build a little environment, and then finish placing our coins and go from there. So what I'm going to do now is show you how to place some prefabs. So I go to my inventory and I go to the creative menu and switch over to prefabs, and from here, if you're really good at Fortnite and you know your different areas, you can find them over here. So let's see, you can find like Pleasant Park has a nice little gazebo square and some houses and stuff like that. So Pleasant Park is a really nice one. So like if I pick up, let's say I just pick up all of them. I click on one and then I say equip, and then see it puts it down in slot 1. Click on this one, say equip, puts it in slot 2. Click on this one, equip, this one, equip, this one, equip. And then I could just go back, and now I have got my phone in hand and I'm ready to go. And I think in the documentation, one of the advices that we give on here is one of the tips is to turn drops on so that it places all of the stuff on the ground, so you're not accidentally floating it above the ground. So let's just see how that works with something. And I'm going to select number 3 with my phone, and that is the gazebo park. I don't have control. Now I do. Okay. So I want to find a good center point for that. There we go. There. Nice. I just love Fortnite Creative.
I appreciate this one because it's open, so that things aren't going to be too hidden. I mean,
Yeah.
unless you really want to mess with your friends.
If they want to call you friends after that.
Frenemies.
Place this. So one of the things that's notable is that, you know, the front of the house kind of places towards you. So it's looking back at you. So that's one thing to notice when you're placing objects is a lot of times like what would be considered the front is kind of like will place facing towards you. So if you want it to be facing a different direction, just make sure where you are is oriented properly for where you want to place it. Got some houses here I can place. Back out, place number 2 here. Made boo-boo. Oh, I didn't turn drops on, that's why. Did I? Oh, I have drops off still. Oops. So you could turn them on or use your collision with terrain to your advantage. So what I've been doing here, let's click on 4. And if you can place this up in the sky and literally it'll all float and that'll be sad. But if you go down to the ground, you could see once it starts to hit the ground, it will basically start to move. It'll start to move kind of flat on the ground. One of the things you could do also on the left-hand side, you see the push and pull. So if I'm pressing F to push it, and it made it to the ground. So it got a little further away from me when I did the push, which is pretty handy. So you might want to, if you're not sure about things and you don't have drops on, you could just press F so it pushes down to the ground and then place it, and then you'll have it placed. And then it's another one, this house. Use the F to make sure it's pushed all the way down. Yeah, cool. And you could also, like you see here, I have this object. When I pick it up, it's placeable in any direction. But this is a road piece that we would like. It'd be nice if it was placed on a grid. Let's see if we have. I keep doing that. Sorry. I go into my options. And on this one, we're going to, there's 2 settings that are important. There's the building as prop. So if we turn that off, it'll keep the building elements kind of snapping to each other. And also we could turn grid snap. Right now we have grid snap off. We could set that to like, if I set that to 32, which is super small increments, let's see what happens with this. Yeah. We're going to be like what I did, I had grid snap off when I placed these, so they're not on the actual grid itself. So that's one problem to kind of pay attention to in advance. If you're building this and want it to match like the normal grid, you want to have those settings on beforehand, which would have been nice for me to mention before. But I think this is kind of covering our basic needs and what we want. Gatlin, do you want to place some hoverboards up at the top?
Absolutely.
And I'll place some vehicles over here. So I'm going to show you now how to place some vehicles now that we have kind of our structures built. You go to devices, and then from there you have like, let's see if there's vehicle. Yes, vehicle. All of these possible vehicles. Airplanes, UFOs, surfboards, shopping carts, hoverboards, pickup trucks, ballers, things like that. So I'm going to pick like this, the ATK, and I'll equip that. And then maybe tank. You can be really creative with some of this stuff, but maybe I'll do the mud flap because it's kind of slow. And we'll maybe the quad crasher as well equip, but maybe the quad crasher is like a little bit far of a reach to get to, and maybe it's a risk. So we'll put it maybe up here. pod crasher will be there. And I think we can make the base invisible here. So let's see. Visible during game would be off. And we'll have to just make sure that the actual catcher is visible. And so I'm going to place some of these other guys here. I bring up the mud flap or that one. Actually, it'd be cool. You can kind of park it out here. Some of these carts in here.
Oh, I might have pushed a hoverboard over the edge.
Oh, it'll come back. Yeah, don't worry. Cool. So we have our little golf community. So are these all 10 pointers, these coins? Or
yeah, they're all 10.
So one of the things we could do is do, you could take some of these smaller 1 pointers, place those. So I'm just going to, whatever this guy is here. Oh, actually, this tiny one here. If I look at it, it's a bronze coin. It's 1 point. And then consume if collected by anyone. And then I'll pick that up now. Remember, it's already changing its score. We don't have to use the device thing. And so here, I could just start. I'll just be on the ground. As I'm following my path, I can place. And so watch this here. So right here would be like a perfect place for one of those green vials. So Gatling, can you grab one of those green vials and place it like right before the edge of this this cliff here?
I'm trying to drops off real quick. Oof.
You may see me phasing through the hills and stuff like that. That is one of the settings that you could turn on and off. So if I fly, you could see I've got, of course, I have my phone equipped. But when you don't have your phone equipped, you could turn phasing on and off. And if you don't like flying through walls and floors and stuff like that, then turn phasing off. If you want to fly through everything, then turn phasing on. Now, one of the things we could do on this game that kind of could make things fun is change if you go to the My Island settings, and then you could change the player's default speed. So that could be a fun aspect to the game as well. So you could change like how fast the player moves by default. And let's see, where might that be? Sprinting speed multiplier. Allow sprinting would be on. Allow mantling, which is where you could kind of climb up on things, which is kind of cool. Allow sliding. You could turn that on. That could be a lot of fun. Glider redeploy. Ooh. We might. That is currently on, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, we could change the speed multiplier 1.5 on that. Let's see if that makes things more interesting. How are we doing here? Ooh, Gatlin's building a little bit of a stairway. Yeah. Wow, 2 poison gases. Nice.
Equal opportunity.
Seriously. All right. I'm going to delete all these other ones. So I get to my phone, and as I'm looking at it, it highlights in blue, and then I can just press X. Well, hello there.
Howdy.
It's fancy meeting you here. Ooh, okay.
Wait, I can move.
You almost got yourself deleted there. You have to be careful. We'll get rid of some of those coins. Maybe we can pick up some of these and place them around. Okay, are we ready?
I mean, yeah, let's do this
I
thing.
think we're ready. Let's go. First one. We're going straight down to that park. I think that's where the fight's going to be. Although, yeah, I don't know if there's enough to go around over here or not.
This is why we test it.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're going all the way over this. Yeah, you are.
Oh! I'm not very good at driving this thing, apparently. Would have been faster to just run, but where's the fun in that? He didn't set any decoys for me. How am I doing on score? Uh-oh. What is that?
Oh!
Oh, that was used music blocks.
Oh, the music blocks for the.
I have 80.
I have 10. I'm winning.
Oh.
Don't fool yourself.
Oh, I see you.
Whoa!
Definitely.
This would be a lot easier if I was on foot. Good Lord.
Yeah, I have 90 now, and I just hit that. I have 80. Yeah, it would be easier on foot, but it's definitely not. Look at him go. You want to go back in time? Oh, nice one. Oh, I wonder if the dismantling works. All right, I'm going to slide in for the victory here.
Do it. Do it.
Okay, maybe I am. Maybe I'm not.
I mean, you might beat me.
Oh,
if I hit that though. There it is. What did I end up? I know I hit one of them. Oh yeah, 80.
Oh, you had 80. Wow. I didn't realize.
It was getting close to him.
That was dicey. That was dicey. Man, I was playing a little too confident. See, never showboat when you're in the lead. That's how things turn around and get real bad. Awesome. That is it, folks. That is the activity. That is messing with variables, creating your own game, using Fortnite Creative, and accessing all kinds of opportunities for your wonderful and bright future.
Shiny things.
This is a cool one. I like this. I think this is a good map. There are some other good maps as well, but I think this is a really good one. Regina, thank you so much for joining us. It was awesome seeing you here. I hope you enjoy it. And definitely, we're at Cleverlike on Twitter. Love to see your progress. Share it with us. We retweet it. Start getting your students and yourself some fame and exposure. Our literally dozens of followers will all get our retweets. There are literally dozens of them.
We're humble.
Yes. Yeah. So we'll do our best to amplify your message. Thank you for joining us today. This has been a ton of fun. Do we have one more of these?
Oh, of course we do. We're not. You can't get rid of us that easy.
My gosh.
Dang.
We have the
lock and key left.
The lock and key, the escape room.
Yes.
Oh, that's a fun one. So yeah, definitely join us for the next one. We'll be going through the escape room activity. Lots of fun, really new, cool coding concepts that you put to use in creating a game. So definitely join us for that. Awesome. That's it, dude. Thanks everybody for joining.
Cool.
See you on the next one.
Adios.
Bye.